So, today I thought I would talk about my experience of being autistic and dealing with the holidays and how I can really struggle during this time of year. It's definitely my favorite time of year, but it also stresses me out way more than any other season. Um, I feel like and a lot of these reasons that I'm going to go into, you might not be autistic and relate to them. It's definitely not just an autistic experience. I think a lot of people feel this way. I think just as an autistic person, it's amplified, and I just experience it more intensely than a lot of other people do. Time of year, I'm always just rushing through to experience the holidays like we're supposed to, like rushing to buy all the Christmas presents, rushing to put the decorations up, rushing to do all the holiday experiences you're supposed to have, bake the holiday cookies, go to the parties, do all these things, and at the end of the day you're just exhausted and want to like do nothing. But I feel like there's such an emphasis this time of year on making the most of it that sometimes we just do all these things and they're actually not beneficial for us. Alongside that, I always feel like I'm behind on things, that there's always so much to get done, last minute planning, things that I didn't get to yet. And I always just feel like I'm behind and that I'm failing in life because I'm not getting these things done as quickly as I should, or at least Hallmark movies tell me I'm supposed to have these things done. There's also this pressure to be extra happy and thankful and joyful about all your blessings, which I definitely acknowledge that, I am grateful for everything that we do have and all the good things. But at the same time, I feel like there's this toxic positivity of just always being happy and always just being jolly. And most of the time, I don't feel like that, especially this time of year. Seasonal depression starts to set in. I'm exhausted. I just want to curl up in a ball, probably have a couple meltdowns, have a couple cry sessions. Um, and then there's always like this pressure to like kind of brush off your struggles or cover them up with a positive statement like, yes, I'm really struggling right now, but I'm really looking forward to, something like that. And I'm not into that. I just if I'm feeling like I'm struggling, I just want to sit with that struggle and not try and push it away. This time of year, I also feel like it's really easy to feel lonely, even if you have a partner or have family and friends. I feel like a lot of times I have felt extremely lonely this time of year because there's so much pressure from like holiday movies and TV shows and just society telling you like, um, you know, it's such a special time of year. This is the point of the year that you will find your one true love, or you need to spend it with family and friends, even though they might be toxic. Like I feel like there's this unreal expectation of what the holidays are supposed to look like, and I think it really skews our sense of um, what they actually are. For me, I feel like movies and TV put pressure on you to forgive and forget any like past trauma or um, toxicity that especially family has caused, because this time of year is all about family and forgiveness. And I think that's a really bad thing that we have accepted as a society and that it keeps getting pushed upon us. There's a reason why we've pushed these people out of our lives just because of the holidays. They're not going to change. I especially hate movies that show these people being jerks to each other, and then they have one moment at the end of the movie and you're supposed to like believe that, oh, this one moment is supposed to make up for a lifetime of hurt and trauma that they've caused. Like forgive and forget all that for this tiny little moment, and then the movie ends, but then you go back to reality and these people are going to like continue to be jerks to each other. So I don't know why we put that pressure on people to forgive and forget, especially when like a lot of people have experienced severe traumas from their family. Like, um, it's not something that I agree with. And I feel like we're also expected to spend tons of money on decor, on Christmas gifts, on experiences, and it's just like people are really struggling, especially now. And so I really like this idea of under consumption core and no buy months or no buy Christmases, no buy years, just that people are starting to change the mentality of like things do not buy us happiness, they actually cause more depression, because we just get in the cycle of more, 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 and it's not healthy. I've definitely struggled with that for most of my adulthood of just like consumerism and just wanting to change decor every year to and it's not on purpose, like it's just I get excited by new ideas I see and then I just go full in and then I'm never satisfied because like I don't have time or the money to do like the entire theme throughout the whole room or the house, and so it feels like hodgepodge and not complete, and that really irritates me. So I've just the last couple of years I've definitely let that go of buying new things. I've really narrowed down like what I've what I see as our signature style as far as home decor and like personal style, and so I'm really only adding things that really enhance what we already have. This year for Christmas, I bought two new things, and that was it. I bought some pink ribbon for our Christmas tree that I put in the office, and I bought a new tree collar that matches our living room a little bit better. But that was it. I don't plan to buy any more. I actually donated a ton of stuff, and it feels really good. Um, I still feel like I have way too much stuff actually, and so I'm like getting rid of more stuff. But yeah, so the whole consumerism and buying and doing more this time of year has just gotten out of hand. We're even like gift giving can be really expensive. The last couple of years, my husband and I have been on pretty tight budgets, and so we've actually been doing homemade gifts and doing consumables. Like last year, we made our own homemade pancake mix using a recipe from my grandma, and then we paired it with a little carton of eggnog so you can make your own eggnog pancakes. And everyone seemed to like that. We got a lot of texts from family that the day of Christmas that they were making our recipe. So that was really nice. And then this year, I think we're going to give everybody homemade jam that we made earlier this year and maybe like homemade cookies or granola. Something just another edible that's super simple, doesn't cost a whole lot, and it's still from the heart. The biggest anxiety for me this time of year was working retail. I worked retail for probably 12 to 15 years, and this time of year is like the craziest, busiest time. You don't get time off. If you're sick, people get mad at you because you're supposed to be working and they're already short staffed. Um, People are cranky. You get like half the amount of time for lunches that you normally do because you're expected to be on the sales floor. Even when it's not your department, you're still supposed to be helping customers, and it's just like go, go, go all the time. So I think that working retail definitely amplified my sensory sensitivities this time of year as an autistic person, which I didn't know about until after I got diagnosed. And now I can see that, oh man, I should not have been working retail, especially during the holidays. And then by the time Christmas even comes around, you're too exhausted to enjoy it. I usually had several meltdowns every year during the holidays. I would just come home completely exhausted, just go to bed and just like cry because I was so tired. I was physically, mentally, emotionally done, and then you have to wake up and do it every single day. And then by Christmas, like you can't even enjoy it because you're so exhausted. And then depending on what your traditions are, if you're expected to go to family's house and you just like want to stay in bed all day, it's super hard. There was one year working retail, my first year working at this specific job, and the other manager, it was her birthday Christmas Eve. So she got the day off, and a lot of people were getting sick, and I wasn't feeling well that day. But I went in anyways, knowing that I was like I had to be there as one of the managers. And I spent most of that day in the bathroom for like 10-20 minutes at a time with my head in my hands because I had a fever and like could barely stand up. But at that point, I was like so um, like I did not take care of myself physically when I needed to because I always felt pressure of performing and not letting people down, that I came to work and just spent all day in the bathroom. And then finally at like 3 p.m. I had to tell the owner, like, I'm really sorry, but I am super sick and have to go home. And I just remember her just like throwing the biggest tantrum of, oh, I can't believe this, you're sick. And just like not even like a I'm so sorry, feel better, like I hope you're okay, take care of yourself. It was like I was the worst person in the world. This is the same person, by the way, I was talking about in the other video, that she was really rude to me when I didn't say thank you right away for a gift she gave me. Same person, just so you have that in your mind. She was awful. Um, but anyways, so like that's why I feel like I put other people's needs ahead of mine, is because of those reactions. Like they scare me and I feel like I'm going to get fired, and I have like this fear of authority. I used to. I'm working on that. But yeah, and then turns out I was sick all week, and several other of the family members were sick, and it turns out we all got the swine flu from the Christmas party we had a few weeks earlier than this. So I was actually at work with swine flu, um, H1N1. So that was cool. That was great that I had to struggle with that and then got that reaction from that boss. Um, but those are the joys of working retail, especially during the holidays with terrible bosses. Luckily, my bosses now are a lot nicer and a lot more understanding, especially since we work in the food industry. It is encouraged to stay home when you're sick so that you don't infect coworkers or like, you know, pass it on, not really through the food. I don't think you could do that, but you know, putting other people's health and your own first. So that is a nice change, but I still feel like I had that fear of authority. Even not working retail, I think there's a lot of pressure this time of year. I feel like the jobs that I've had, I get volunteered to do things around the office, like decorating the office Christmas tree, which in the beginning I really enjoy, but once something is expected of me every year, I lose enjoyment over it. So decorating the office Christmas tree, I loved the first couple years, and then after that it was like I was expected to do that, and I just didn't want that pressure anymore. I finally had to say, like, if someone else can do it, like I can't. Same with where I work now, we have a desk decorating competition for the holidays, and it's usually by department. So um, again, like I enjoyed it the first couple years because it was fun and I really enjoyed the creativity, and I didn't feel like it was like put upon me to do it. But after a few years, like everybody kind of turns to me because I usually have the most creative ideas, and like I had all the supplies to like bring in and decorate stuff, and so it was just like assumed I would do it, even in the years where I was like, I don't want to. Like people still like just thought I was going to be in charge, and that really frustrates me. This year I am not participating. I'm not, and even if I like say I'm not going to be in charge of it, if I give ideas, that makes people think I'm going to lead the thing and be in charge of it, even though I've said I am not in charge of this. Like someone else can take over. I still somehow end up being like the head party planner, and I don't enjoy that. So this year I'm gonna just be honest and say I have too much on my plate. I'm not even gonna decorate my own desk. I'm not helping. I cannot. So I'm sure people will be a little bit frustrated by that, but I need to take care of myself, and I really I don't want to decorate the office for Christmas. Like similar to that, we also have like a holiday bake off that we do at Thanksgiving and then at Christmas where we just like bring in food that um, for like a competition, and the first through third places get prizes. But I don't like to cook or bake to begin with. I already have enough trouble to do all that, so I don't even try and compete. The gift card to um, the grocery store would be nice, which is usually the prize, but you know what? It's not worth it. I need to save my mental and physical energy, so I just like steer clear of any office holiday obligations. And as far as like more personally why I struggle with the holidays, I really, and I think this is because I'm autistic, I have this very like black and white extreme thinking. So when it comes to like holiday decor, I typically have to have like everything decorated or nothing decorated. It can't be just like in the middle, like some things are done, um, and other things like um, still need done. Like for instance, I just decorated the house this week, the house yesterday, and pretty much done. But the art gallery in here is still very autumnal, and I want it to be more wintry themed. In past years, that would just like eat away at me in that it wasn't done. And so I would have like these huge to-do lists to complete for the holidays of like home decor stuff. And if I didn't get every single thing done, I would just like get really bad anxiety that it wasn't done. And I feel like I would be letting myself down, and um, people would know that it wasn't perfect. And it just like, I would think about it nonstop, like day and night, just get these things done. And then I would spend more money to do it. And I would just like never feel satisfied. I'm really working on that this year, especially since I've really am trying to embrace more of a minimalistic life. And so I've been decluttering and I have a lot less possessions, Christmas decor wise, and like just throughout the house. And that has alleviated so much stress. And like now, yes, I still want to change that out, but if I don't get to it this year, I'm okay with that. Like it'll, I'll put it on the back burner. I will survive. Whereas before it would be like, I'm a failure. Like I didn't get to this. Like it just doesn't match the theme, and it just like stands out, and everyone's gonna know. No one cares except me. But like, couldn't tell myself that. And then I used to also put a lot of pressure on myself because I'm a very creative person, and like my background is in interior design. That's what I studied in college. I put a lot of pressure on myself to always have like um just the whole house decorated, like every single room had to have a tree and like different themes, and like it all had to be immaculate, and it all had to be like perfect to a T, like on point, on theme. Um, and again, I would just make myself crazy doing all this, and it would be so much work. Like yesterday, just doing this living room, it took me only an hour, but like I was exhausted after it because I had to like clean. I went through all the totes and got rid of stuff that we weren't using and decided if I was going to keep stuff or not, and just like the physical lifting of the bins through the garage and stuff. It's tiring. So I don't know how I did it like in every single room of our house, because our house is not, it's not huge, but it's also not small. Um, I would just like work myself to death when I was already working retail, coming home exhausted, and then like all the other pressures of like doing these things. It's like I don't know why I did this, except that I feel like that's what we're shown that we need to do in like movies and Christmas songs and TV shows. Is just like all around us. And in TikTok and like Instagram, like all these people are just decorating like immaculate houses, different themes each year. It's like totally out of control in my personal opinion. So now that I'm like diagnosed as autistic this year, I definitely knew that I wouldn't have a whole lot of energy to put into doing decorating, so I kept it super simple. I did just the living room. I put a little bit in the bedroom. I did the office a few weeks ago, but like it was all just easy. Like I didn't, it was all stuff we already had. I didn't make anything. I'd also used to put tons of pressure on to like hand make every single thing, like ornaments, garland, um, cute stockings, and it was just like I had to hand make it, and it was just like I don't I don't know how I had time to do all that. But this year, um, I spent like one afternoon decorating. That was it. Um, we're gonna put the tree up tonight, and then like we're done. And I feel like so that'll be easy to put away too, because that was always like putting Christmas away was even worse than like putting it up as far as like energy and time it took. But this year I'm just focusing on like keeping it super simple, only putting out the things that are like super special to us, like this little uh, this little tablecloth here that belonged to my husband's grandma, so it's super sentimental. And I put just a few candles out, and like same with the rest. It's just like very simple but very beautiful. I think it like enhances everything else around it. So I'm really happy. I'm happy I'm scaling it down and just um, not going extravagant. I don't think I didn't buy any new Christmas ornaments this year, which is perfect because we have amazing ornaments. I love our tree, so I'm really excited to put it up. And yeah, I'm I'm happy with how it's turning out. Okay. Um, okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about, I think, is definitely a neurodivergent trait. I don't know if neurotypicals struggle with this, but gift giving and receiving. I talked about in my birthday blog how I don't like to open gifts in front of people because my reaction is very monotone and just like I have no expression on my face. Also, the pressure of saying thank you and like just like taking my time to process all that information. Um, but on top of that, I feel like this time of year, gift giving is not my love language, receiving or giving. And so it's really hard for me to pick out meaningful presents for people, even if I know them really well. It's just not something I am good at. And I've already talked about how, like, just it can be really expensive getting gifts for like family, your friends, and there's your coworkers, your neighbors. Just I feel like there's pressure to get like everyone in your life something. So where I struggle with this as an autistic person is a sense of fairness. Like, for example, if someone were to give me like a really beautiful, expensive scarf that I knew was like $50, I would feel that pressure to get something of similar cost um, or thoughtfulness into that gift. There's just this pressure to give something of equal or more value to someone that has given you something. And or if someone gave you a present but you didn't get them a present, I really struggle with that, like feeling guilty that should I have gotten them something, and then like that's all I worry about is that I didn't get them something when they got me something, even if it was small, even if it was just like they baked a couple cookies. I feel like I put pressure and guilt on myself that I didn't get them something too. And that like carries through like with everyone, with family and friends. If neighbors drop something off for us, or if coworkers get something, or like bosses, like I feel like my bosses have given me really nice gifts throughout the year, but I don't have that much money to get them something back that is just as nice. So I really struggle with that, especially since I'm not good at giving gifts to begin with. It puts just more pressure on me. The other thing that like sounds fun but is actually awful is wrapping presents. I always get excited when I see like beautiful wrapping papers with matching ribbon and like cute little um, decal things that you stick on it. After wrapping one or two gifts, I am so tired of it. I don't ever want to see another piece of wrapping paper or gift ever again because it is just so time consuming and you have to put tons of thought into doing these things. It does not come naturally to me. And it's not my favorite thing. I remember in the third grade, I was really excited because that was the first year. I think we had a secret Santa or something at school. And I was really proud of myself. I wrapped the gift myself. First time ever I had done that, and like picked out the wrapping paper, did all like wrapped it, brought it in. I probably put like a card or ribbon with it. And then when I took it to school, everyone made fun of my gift because they were like, who did that? And I thought it looked good, but apparently it was sloppy because everyone made fun of it. And I was really embarrassed by that and never claimed that it was mine because people are jerks, even in the third grade. But that has haunted me for the majority of my life. Um, yeah, so gift wrapping sounds fun, but it's kind of like my experience with carving pumpkins and Easter eggs and cookies. That is just, I don't enjoy it, and I feel like there's so many presents to wrap sometimes, and I just hate it with a passion. It always takes 4 times longer than I think it's going to be, and I just want to rage throw the scissors and tape because I'm so tired of it. But I don't know if anybody else feels that way about wrapping like I do, but can't stand it.